And we continue now with our great American panel. All right, so there's a comedian goes on, Bill Maher, by the way, so angry and so mean and so vicious, and it's just not worth watching anymore. But he has a comedian on, apparently never heard of the First Amendment. Let's roll the tape.
Should people in the media be held more legally accountable for broadcasting false or misleading information? Well, that's like what it is in England. You know, in England, the burden of proof is the other way. You know, lots of lawsuits over there. Here, you have to.
I think so.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I say that as somebody who would like to see Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity off the air.
Off the air. Free speech. Whatever happened to free speech?
Like freaks, though, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I'm not taking it personally, but
you know, it's not a two-way street for them. I mean, because if somebody said from the other side of the spectrum, "Oh, I wish they'd get rid of Keith Olbermann," they wouldn't think that was funny.
I don't want any liberal off the air.
No, we don't, because we understand what free speech is about. It is not dissimilar from the Ground Zero mosque situation, where you've got very double standards about what's considered appropriate in terms of tolerance. We seem to forget that just because something is legal and right, legal doesn't necessarily make it right, and just because you disagree with somebody.
It's another example of their grandiosity. It's the same kind of grandiosity written with those people that you see amongst the liberals generally across the country. It's why they've lost touch with the American people. They just think that because in their imperial way, they say you should be off the air and you'll be off the air.
Have you seen some of the conservatives that have been nominated this time around? You talk about losing touch with the reality in America. Let me say this. I think it's terrible somebody would want you off the air. Not only you, my friend, I want you on there because the more you're on the air, the more I can recruit liberals.
All right, great. Okay, fair enough. Let's go. Now, we had the Connecticut Senate debate, Linda McMahon and Blumenthal, but this is the latest Linda McMahon ad, and then something interesting happened tonight during the debate.
My plan would aid small businesses in creating jobs by targeting those tax cuts to small businesses. I would vote immediately, and I'm the only candidate here who would vote immediately for a middle-class tax cut.
We keep saying middle-class tax cut, but I'm absolutely saying that we shouldn't raise taxes on anyone. And what will happen under Mr. Blumenthal's plan is that about $12.5 billion would leave the state of Connecticut to go to Washington so they could spend it.
All right, now that was the debate. Now let me show you the ad.
Would you lie about serving in a war?
We have learned something very important since the days that I served in Vietnam.
Dick Blumenthal did, again and again.
When we returned, we saw nothing of this gratitude.
He covered one lie with another.
Since the days that I served in Vietnam.
If he lied about Vietnam, what else is he lying about?
It's a great ad.
It's not a bad ad.
I was asking.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it is a good.
The three of you go ahead and answer, then I'll have a chance to say something slightly. Go ahead.
Well,
should we let him go?
Go ahead, say the obvious. Go on, just say the obvious.
No, you go.
This is obviously what the man's like. He's a liar. Did I say the right thing?
Well,
what he doesn't produce is Women Run Wild, which is pornography, which is what she produced and she paid for.
No, actually,
she also avoided her taxes. She's also a lousy candidate. And Connecticut, by the way, has the largest number of independent voters. Independent voters are going to break heavily against her. There's not a chance in the world, and I'm willing to bet you the ownership of the American Spectator that she loses this race and loses it big.
You're betting not big enough here because you're so wrong, and you should take the bet.
You think this woman?
Because I just did the largest. I just did the largest survey of independents with Doug Schoen, and one of the things that was most interesting in there was that by 65% to 15%, they preferred a business person with experience in creating jobs and no political background to somebody who is a long-time government person. And a large part of the debate this evening was all about, he was trying to tag her with wanting to lower the minimum wage, and she said to him, how do you create a job? And he tried to answer, and she said to him, no, that's not how you create a job. You create a job by giving money to small business people and letting them invest it, grow it, and then letting them do it again, and that's what produces revenue. That's what creates jobs.
First of all,
we went through this fallacy that government's going to create jobs. We're losing jobs left and right.
Wait a second. I still get back to my point. This woman is a pornographer.
She is not a pornographer.
Are you going to defend the Women Run Wild? Are you for them?
I I think that women are performers in all sorts of different venues, and I don't agree with
stripping and screwing in her movies. Is that what you think?
That's really not the issue.
Totally
it's not the issue. I see Vietnam's an issue, but that's not.
The issue is creating jobs.
Creating jobs. She created a lot of jobs.
That's the fundamental
and
issue.
most of those young girls are going on to some success, I'm sure, in their lives.
On pornography.
Well, if you want to deny them those jobs and make those jobs illegal.
I deny them pornography jobs. She won't. She and her husband support.
So you support abolishing pornography?
I do.
As a liberal, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
He probably gets rid of cocktail waitresses,
because I've seen most of
the time we have left this evening. Let not your heart be troubled. The news continues. Greta's next. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Do you want to be